My name's Pete Woods. You're watching Hexham TV. Who are you?
I'm Emily Gray. I am the head keeper at Northumberland College Zoo.
I'm Stephen Sykes. I'm the Animal Resource Centre Manager here at Northumberland College Zoo. We opened in 2011 as a commercial zoo to complement the curriculum offer for animal care, veterinary nursing and dog grooming here at Kirkley Hall. And over the years, we've established an amazing animal collection of over 150 different species of animals, including what we're about to talk to about today.
Is the zoo open to the public?
Yeah, we're currently getting ready to reopen on Saturday. We're closed for the winter season, so we typically close November, December, January, February, and reopen on the February half term. And obviously, because we are a college, Monday to Friday, the zoo is closed to public and is just here for the students to use as a resource to learn all their wonderful modules. But then on the weekend, we spend Friday tidying everything back up again and getting the zoo ready for the public on the weekend. So yeah, it's going to be our first weekend open on Saturday.
The zoo's not just important just to sort of for the students and the public. It's also vitally important for preserving species. And I think you want to talk to me about a particular species that you're involved in at the moment.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, for all zoos, we've got to make sure that we're carrying out research, that we're carrying out education, that we're carrying out research. And obviously education is a really important one because of the college. Research, we carry out lots of different projects with our students as well. And conservation, as a zoo, we actually do lots of projects in and around Northumberland, which is great to help our red squirrel population. And we're working with the Badger Group now and various other charities around the North East. But what we also want to do is protect some of our lovely exotic friends out in South America, in Australia, in Africa, etc. And so, yeah, we're here today to talk. And Emily will give you a little bit of a talk about one of our latest additions, which is increasing the captive population of one of our monkey species.
Hi, Emily. Tell me about this particular monkey.
Hello. So we have a pair of Goeldi's monkeys. So if you've ever seen them, they're just a small black primate. They're very active. They're very cheeky little monkeys. So we've got Bamboo, who's the male, and Rosa, who's the female. When did Bamboo arrive?
Oh, now you're asking.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago. So we've had them as hopefully a potentially breeding pair for a little while now. Last year, kind of towards the end of the year, we had suspicions that Rosa might be pregnant. Just like humans, you could see her little belly underneath. But we weren't ever sure. We couldn't ask her to take a pregnancy test, although we did try. Yeah. But then it was on the 29th of December. It was a Sunday morning, and I was in. And I came in and I noticed something was very wrong. Didn't know kind of what was wrong. But it was then I discovered that she had a tiny little baby on her back. So we now have a little family of 3. So we've got Bamboo, Rosa, and little baby who we don't know what gender he is yet. So we haven't named him just yet. We keep going him, but it could go either way at this point. So it'll be a few more weeks before we find out if it is a him or her. And then I think we're going to do probably a naming competition. But he's a really important little addition to the collection. It's been really excellent to see students kind of watching him grow up as well, from kind of almost a couple of weeks after he was born to now when he's starting to get a little bit more mobile. He spends a lot of his time on mum and dad's back being carried around, but now he's at the point where he's starting to try different foods, and he's very cheeky, he's very naughty, he gets told off quite a lot by his parents, but the students have just absolutely loved watching him develop and grow up. And it's been a really good learning point for them about conservation and breeding programs. So the Goeldi's monkeys are part of the European Endangered Species Breeding Program, so part of EASA. So this, our little monkey, he or she will then, in the future, when he's all grown up, go to a different collection and hopefully be used for breeding going forwards to increase their population in captivity.
Where's the natural environment for this monkey?
So they're from South America. I think it's primarily Bolivia, in the rainforest. So they're kind of a rainforest dwelling species. They'll live in the trees, but also they will come down to the ground. So they're very active. We've got a nice little indoor enclosure currently for them. We don't let little baby outside yet, just, you know, because he's a little bit cheeky. He's currently swinging off things and like hanging on with one leg. It's a bit sketchy to see him.
And how difficult is it Well, firstly, to find a pair that will mate, and then secondly, to actually look after a newborn.
Yeah.
Well, there's no dating services, though, unfortunately.
No.
What we do have is each captive population is managed by a stud bookkeeper. And so all the vulnerable, the critically endangered species that we have, there's actually a person who runs the full population in captivity in the European area, at least. And they understand the genetics, who's closely related to others, etc. And they actually every year do an audit to understand what surplus animals there is, so what's been born each year, and they then kind of pick and choose the best genetics to get them together. They then send out recommendations to the zoos to then say, hi, can you pop to this zoo to collect this female, and can you take your male to Chester, and can you grab another male from somewhere else and see if it works? And we've had Goeldis in the past which were breeding pairs that just weren't successful. They've now one's been rehomed to Germany for an international transfer a few years ago, and we got another one back in. And it just happens that this pair's works really well. Yeah. I say Suzanne O'Brien, the stud bookkeeper, who is a keeper out in the Dublin Zoo, she's really, really impressed by us breeding them. The genetic pair that we have is really important to the captive population, and the offspring that we have will actually be the next generation, the next population that's going to be shared around Europe to continue the captive breeding program. So it's really important. Yeah. It's been really successful. And I say the students have found it wonderful to be able to not just read about it, not just go on to YouTube, not just talk to Chester Zoo, but actually look at it and see day to day every morning they're coming in. Can we have a quick look? Yeah. You know, the amount of footage and the amount of evidence we've got to show development of this little thing is amazing, isn't it?
And really? I think that's it. You were kind of asking about the care of it. And to be honest, we've kind of done a bit of research. There's not too much out there to kind of tell us what to do. So the main things we've done is obviously increase feed for mum and dad. Especially mum's been eating a lot more because she's been caring for little one. And just, like I say, recording his development kind of day by day and week by week, and kind of give us some guidelines of by week 3 he'll be jumping on the dad, by week 5 he'll be kind of moving around on his own, but it's quite exciting for us to watch him every day. All the keepers are always, every evening when we finished all of our jobs, we're all at the window watching his antics, because that's when he's most active. But yeah, no, he's doing really well. He's growing really quickly. Yeah, poor mum's having a bit of a time trying to carry him around now.
What size do they grow to eventually at adulthood?
They're talking about what, 6 inches?
Yeah, they're only about kind of 300-400 grams, so they're not a massive monkey. They're only a small monkey species. Yeah.
And I think there are about 260 different species of monkey, and I've read somewhere that about half of them are endangered. So,
I'd say a lot more than half. I'd like to
really.
Think. Not like to think, but I think there is a lot more out there. But again, it's the way the world, you know, habitat loss, pet trade. That these little animals are very cute. You see them on Instagram, you see them on TikTok, and luckily in the UK we've actually got quite stringent regulations about holding some of these species. And you know, the Goeldi's monkeys, you need Article 10 licenses, which means that they do need to be captive bred, that they need to be looked after properly, and that you've actually applied through the council to actually get these licenses. So at least we've got those safeguarding measures in place in this country. But again, that's not everywhere around the world, unfortunately.
Now, you say that this monkey will form part of the new breeding process in future years. Is there any idea about perhaps releasing any monkeys back into their natural environment, or is that not the purpose of this particular program?
A lot of the time, the species that we have in captivity are typically flagship species to educate, to fundraise, to make people aware. Captive populations, just by the very nature, are very difficult to reintroduce. And so if any reintroductions were to happen, that would be certainly a breeding program that would happen out in Bolivia in certain sets of pens and enclosures where there's no contact, where there can be a soft release program over 3 or 4 years where the supplementary fed, that they're looked after, that they're vaccinated. But the captive population in the UK, we can help raise funds for that to then pay for these releases if required. Or what even better is stop the habitat loss and let them do it themselves. Yeah. And so if we can actually buy more land and protect more reserve area and stop people purchasing them as pets and going out into the forest and stealing them, and realizing actually there's maybe more money in tourism if they actually was to show these monkeys where they live and actually make money from hotels and transport and camping sites than it is to actually sell them on the market that might be a better way of doing it. So a lot of it's just working with people to try and change people's perceptions.
And I think that's a lot of what we do here. So we don't have that many kind of breeding programs. So it's why this little baby monkey is so exciting, because, you know, we don't have that many babies, especially a baby as special as this. But we've also got a pair of cotton-top tamarins and a pair of pied tamarins, which are also critically endangered. But again, they're two males together, but it is for that ambassador animal awareness. So we've got public coming in, so you can see these species in captivity, but actually understand why they are declining in the wild and why it's so important that we kind of do something about climate change and deforestation and everything else that's going on.
Yeah, the cotton tops, there's just 2,000 wild animals left in the wild. You know, it's such a small population. Pied tamarins come from such a unique, small little pocket of habitat that they are fighting on really well, but it's really important to make sure that we do give them that breath and we give that protection if we can, by raising money to buy land, to put more rangers out into the forest to make sure they're not being poached, that kind of thing.
How did you two get into this line of work?
Oh, long story. Veterinary nursing, flamingo land, went off piste and did a little bit of retail therapy for a while, then came back into teaching. And then when I became a lecturer here 17, 18 years ago, they decided to open a zoo. So I said, I'll do that. And that is history, I suppose.
Yeah. And I'm actually, I'm a Northumberland College alumni, you can call me that. So last year I finished my degree at Kirkley Hall in animal welfare management. So I graduated with the first class in that, started working at the zoo as a presenter. And then an opportunity as head keeper came up here, and I kind of jumped at that. My background's more in kind of domestic and livestock and customer service, but I've absolutely loved learning about more exotic things, how to run a zoo, all of the things that happen every day. No 2 days are ever the same. So it's always really exciting. And I love it.
And what sort of careers do the students at Northumberland College on the courses that you're involved in go on to take part in?
Wow. I mean, everything and anything, to be fair. The courses actually give you a lot of just really great people skills to start off with. So resilience, communication, to go on into whatever else you want to do, really. The majority, I'll certainly say, goes more into the domestic animal welfare approach, like pet stores, grooming parlours, vet nursing, that kind of thing. But I say most of the courses actually are enablers to let people choose at the end of the course to move on to something more specific or again, go into zoo if they wish to. But yeah, luckily the animal industry is becoming bigger and bigger, I think, isn't it? So there's lots more choice out there. Plus, with the advent of technology and ChatGPT and everything, goodness knows what animal care is going to look like in 20 years' time. And these guys know how to do it more than what we do now, which is brilliant.
No. And I think it's a very competitive industry. I think that's what I was kind of always told when I was studying. But I think kind of studying here and learning here, especially kind of on a working licensed zoo, really does give students the edge. I know we do a cadet keeper program with some of the students, which they can almost sign up to volunteer almost as a keeper. They get the keys, they get the training and the know-how. And then that gives them a really good step up to actually become a keeper at our zoo or at another collection as well. So we've kind of seen that in progress with student cadet keeper and now some of our employed keepers as well. And we're super proud of them. I think more than anything, we're really proud of them to see their development and progression.
And obviously the zoo's not just animal keeping. We've got education, we've got conservation, we've got the research aspect. So our students get involved with doing school groups, doing birthday parties, doing keeper experiences, working in the gift shop, working in the food kiosk. You know, all that's a full-rounded employer, I suppose. You can see at the end of it, as well as, you know, how to sweep a floor, how to look out a meerkat. They actually come out with a lot of personal skills too, which they can pass on to a lot of different roles.
So if people come to the zoo, will they be able to see the new baby?
They will. I mean, he's on show. He's been doing a lot of socialization with the students as well. So we kind of, for a few weeks, we were very protective of our little baby monkey, but now we've had students going in. But yeah, no, he's on show. He's quite hard to spot because he's a small black monkey on another small black monkey, but you can see him, I think, and in the coming weeks, he'll be moving around more and more. And I think he'll really take to the public, to be quite honest.
So if people want to find out more about Northumberland College Zoo, where should they go?
Head straight to the website. So go to the Northumberland College website, which is northumberland.ac.uk. Head there, and then if you look at the for visitors page on there, we've actually got a page for the dog grooming commercial entity. We've also got the zoo page on there, and that takes you to all the different animals we have, takes you to all the products we sell, so all the birthday parties, school groups, that kind of thing, all the education we do, and all the conservation we do. Plus, if you want to get involved and volunteer on the weekends and during the week to help out and be behind the scenes helping the keepers out, we'd really appreciate that.
And we do a lot of social media, so Facebook and Instagram, Northumberland College Zoo. That's what we do.
Growing TikTok as students get involved. A lot of the students do our social media for us now, which is very exciting, very interesting what to go with.
Whole new world.
It is, definitely.
Well, listen, congratulations on your new edition. And it's wonderful that you're actually, within Northumberland, you're taking part in such an important piece of work, both for this species, but other species as well. And also training the next generation of animal keepers and vet nurses and people who look after the environment and look after animals, both in the UK and internationally.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for talking to Hexham TV.
No,
thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.